that CIA guy on with the hair.
Yeah.
And
What do you think of that guy?
So after the pod,
I guess we're up. Let's go.
you want to go?
We're rolling.
Let's do it.
Go.
Okay. So he came on, and he was very like forthcoming. First of all, he's very charming. But like when you're talking to anybody who's worked for the CIA, you're looking at him through the same lens as you look at like a therapist.
Right.
Where it's like, wait, are you analyzing? Like what's going on?
What's going on here?
Very charming, very smart, very like seems to really know what's going on in the world. But like straight up told us, he's like, yeah, the CIA, you know, I guess one of the advantages I have is like I'm pretty close to a sociopath. Like I'm not there, but like I don't feel the same emotions that everybody feels. There's like a lack of guilt, but I know when I should feel it in these moments.
Whoa.
But that's a huge advantage. Imagine if you're trying to like find assets and flip assets.
Yeah.
If you and I like build a relationship with somebody and we like feel empathy for them,
Right.
maybe we wouldn't be able to say, hey, now it's time for you to cough up the information or else.
Right.
But somebody else in that position might. So I would imagine if you're the fucking CIA, you're like, okay, we're looking for people who have gone through these things in their life that have curated this kind of like personality type.
There's an element of predictable behavior that's wired into us cognitively from childhood, right? So especially people who have had experiences with significant trauma as children also have a higher likelihood of developing antisocial disorders or antisocial conditions as adults, because as children, we tried to fit in and we were rejected. So now as adults, we're like, fuck trying to fit in, but maybe I should still try to fit in because it's just easier if people think I fit in, right? So there's an element of that.
Do you feel that way about yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, for me, I'm nice because I'm
You're incredible at socializing.
it's all.
You think it's manufactured? It's all kind of learned?
No, it's real, but the difference is what happens on the back end, if you will, right? Like having a conversation. Like you were saying, you'd feel guilty asking me questions. I wouldn't feel guilty asking you questions because I've been conditioned through my childhood trauma to be kind of safe of feeling like, I'm going to ask you a question. It's your responsibility if you answer it or not. I was literally talking to my wife about this the other day because my wife is also a former CIA. So we have some very dark conversations. And the question was, if you were crossing a street and you were crossing a street at a time when you needed to cross the street to get away from some creepy dude who was standing at the street corner. But when you crossed the street, you made another car swerve because you crossed when it wasn't a crosswalk and that car crashed. Right?
Okay.
So you just saved yourself from creepy dude who's standing at the edge of the sidewalk, but that car crashed. Do you feel bad?
Yeah.
I mean,
my answer is no.
I
don't feel bad.
What am I supposed to do? Like,
well, I don't feel bad because I self-preserved, got myself off the X, a term that we say getting off the X. The dude that crashed wasn't driving responsibly or else he wouldn't have crashed.
And it wasn't your intention.
And it wasn't my intention.
You know what is a crazy coincidence? Maybe not. I grew up in Dallas, born and raised. The spot where JFK is killed, you know how it's marked on the road?
Yeah.
It's an X.
With an X
It's on
the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an X on the road. So off the X really makes me think you guys killed JFK.
They left their signage.
But now you've studied people enough to know that like this guilt response is quite normal.
Right.
Right.
In a socially conditioned person.
And you're saying you just feel none of it.
I don't feel none of it. It doesn't hold me back.
All right, so you feel it, but it doesn't stop you. Gotcha. Whereas like a sociopath, for example, might not feel it at all. Oh, so you're in a really advantageous situation because you could act on that feeling if you think it's the socially responsible thing to do. But if you need to get where you need to go, you won't.
I act on the feeling when it is a personal benefit. And that's the difference between a true sociopath, which is, remember how we were talking about antisocial disorders?
Yep.
A true sociopath is actually clinically called antisocial disorder, antisocial personality disorder, ASPD.
Okay.
So that's a clinical thing, just like a psychopath is a clinical thing on the antisocial personality disorder spectrum. Whereas what I'm talking about is useful elements of sociopathy.
Yeah.
But still able to fit into a larger society.
Yeah, my cousin's a psychiatrist. He always distinguishes between sociopath and having sociopathic tendencies. And he's like, there's a lot of really successful people who have sociopathic tendencies.
Maybe I'm a sociopath.
It's not that you're a sociopath. It's just that that's part of the gig.
Yes.
Like, you're not a sociopath with your friends.
No, I think I'm maybe an empath.
Yes.
But I guess it's one of those things where like you justify, you go, okay, I think this person might have done something bad.
Yes.
And he can get jokes, and we're all going to tell jokes.
Yeah.
I'm not pressing fucking
Well,
charges.
not only that, you're not the guy who's out there like calling the New York Times, hey, you know what I heard about
By
Diddy?
the way, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're just
Yeah.
like, it's there. I mean,
Yes,
it's not
yes,
just
yes,
there.
yes, yes.
It's everywhere. My fucking news feed is dominated by it.
Yes.
Fox News, CNN,
Yeah.
everyone. There's raids at Diddy's house.
Can you take a completely normal person, give them power, and then they become that? Or does it take a power-hungry person that has this void that they need to be filled, that needs to be filled, and then when they are given that power, you see the worst version of them?
Ask your CIA boy. I bet he's got the answers. I bet he knows the exact formula.